Okay, so good day everyone. Our topic for today is about advanced project design models, no, or project design models. No? So PDM are essential tools for public administrators who are tasked with translating policies, development goals, and reforms agendas into a concrete, measurable, and sustainable programs. In the Philippine public sector, projects are often implemented in complex environments shaped by decentralization, no, limited resources, political dynamics, and diverse community needs. No? An advanced project design model provides a systematic way to define problems, align objectives with national and local development plans, identify stakeholders, manage risk, and ensure accountability. For doctoral students in public administration, understanding this model is not only an academic requirement, but also a practical leadership competency for designing evidence-based and result-oriented intervention. At the doctoral level, project design goes beyond basic planning or compliance with templates. No? It involves critical analysis, strategic thinking, and the integration of governance principles such as transparency, participation, equity, and sustainability. So advanced project design models such as system thinking, logic models, theory of change, and agile or hybrid approaches help public sector leaders anticipate unintended consequences, coordinate across agencies, and measure long-term public value. In the Philippine context, these models are particularly relevant in designing projects related to local governance reform, digital transformation, disaster risk reduction, of course, and health system strengthening, and inclusive education where multiple across actors and layers of government are involved. At this point, we now give the floor to the presenter who will discuss in detail the specific advanced project design models, their key components, and how these frameworks are applied in real-world public administration projects. Take it away, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you po, Doc Bante. Good afternoon, classmates. I'm Tristan Toncales. You'll be presenting the Advanced Project Design Model. So, this topic is actually applicable to all of us, especially for us handling different projects in our respective agencies. So, the Advanced Project Design Model in public administration. Advanced project design models are used to manage complex public problems, ensure accountability, involve multiple stakeholders, and deliver public value under political, legal, and budgetary constraints. Ito rin po yung nabanggit ni Doc Abante a while ago. So these models emphasize governance, participation, adaptability, and outcomes rather than just speed or profit. So, hindi lang matapos kaagad. So, meron tong process in between. So, the logical framework approach, ito yung unang approach, is a structured, wait lang po, medyo, ano lang yung screen ko. For a while lang po, for a while. Ayusin ko na po yung screen ko. The logical framework approach is a structured method for designing, managing, and evaluating programs so that activities lead to measurable outcomes and impact. It culminates in a concise log frame matrix that links the hierarchy of objectives. Sample is yung impact or goal, ano then yung outcome niya, outputs, and then yung activities. So, this indicates also with indicators, means of verification, and assumptions or risk that must hold for success. So, in plain terms, the logical framework approach forces clarity on what the project team wants to achieve, how to get there, and what needs to be true along the way. It separates outputs from outcomes and ties both to indicators that can actually measure and verify. Okay. Uh, so in the screen, you can see the matrix. So LFA is best understood on this matrix. It forces you to link what you are doing with what you want to achieve through a cause and effect logic. So makikita niyo po dito, meron pong apat na columns, then meron din pong 5 rows. So dun sa first row, andito po yung makikita natin narrative summary, indicators, means of verification, and assumptions. So yung details ito will be discussed on the following slide. So for the narrative approach, kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayo nandito yung goal natin, yung purpose, outputs, and activities. So, related ito lahat. So, ano yung magiging indicator ng goal natin? So, ito yung mga long-term targets natin. Excuse me. So, para natin ma-verify kung na-achieve nga ba natin yun. So, nito na yung mga statistics, examples na to. Then, meron din tayo mga assumptions. For the purpose naman, the indicators will be the behavior change and target. So, syempre, pag may project tayo, meron mga change na nangyayari. So, paano ito ina-accept ng affected team? So, syempre, pag may change, ayun nga, merong tayong dapat ibigay na survey. So, yun yung magiging means of verification. Kung kung ano yung benefit nung project natin, no? O nami-meet ba ng outcome yung purpose. So yung assumption natin dito is the purpose to goal assumptions. So for the outputs, ang indicator natin yung quantity or quality ng targets. And means of verification niya is yung site inspection reports. So and the assumption is the output to purpose assumptions. For the activities, ito yung sample nito yung sa mga inputs and means of verification kung budget ang pinag-usapan, yung mga financial reports, and yung activity assumption is the activity to output assumptions. So itong next slides will be yung detail ng bawat uh, row. So the vertical logic or the if-then chain. So the first column of the matrix, yung the narrative summary, ito yung backbone of the project. It follows a bottom-up logic. So yung goal natin or impact, it is the long-term, high-level objective the project contributes to. So ano ba yung gusto natin ma-achieve? The purpose or outcome is the specific change or benefit to the target group. So, bakit natin to ginagawa? So, yung outputs, the tangible products or services delivered by the project. So, ano yung ginawa? Ano yung install or what? Ano yung install? So, the activities, ito na may mga task na ginawa to produce the outputs. So, yung the logic test here is if we do the activities, kung ginawa the activities, then we get the outputs. If we have the outputs, then we achieve the purpose. If we achieve the purpose, then we contribute to the goal. So, yung horizontal logic naman ay measurement and verification. Once the narrative is set, you must define how you will prove success across the next 3 columns. So, for the objectively verifiable indicators, ito yung ginagamit natin ng SMART target. So, yung specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Next is yung means of verification. How will we verify? So, where the evidence comes from, ito yung mga proof na. So these are the specific documents like project completion reports. So for the assumption, these are external factors outside the manager's control that must stay true for the project to succeed. So ito yung minsan ito yung mga unforeseen events din. So meron din ganun. So for the strengths and weaknesses for discussion, strengths nito is it forces rigorous thinking, ensures accountability, and provides a snapshot of the whole project on one page. Ang weakness naman, it can be too linear and rigid. It often fails to capture the messy part of reality, yung mga in-betweens. So, yung next naman is the result-based management approach. Ang key principle is it focuses on the outcomes. RBM prioritizes clear, measurable outcomes that align with the strategic goals of an organization. This involves SMART objectives, yung kanina nabanggit ko po na specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It also involves the stakeholders. It engages stakeholders throughout the project cycle. It's crucial for ensuring that the outcomes are relevant and that there is a shared ownership of the result. So, monitoring and evaluation. So, continuous monitoring and evaluation are integral to RBM. They provide feedback on progress towards outcomes, allowing for adjustments to be made as necessary. Since, di ba, hindi naman talaga perfect ang mag-implement ng project. So, maraming hurdles in between. So, kailangan natin i-monitor and evaluate yung progress natin. So, kung kailangan may mga changes na gagawin, so may mga tinatawag na mga change advisory board. So, before we execute the changes, so kailangan pa ng mga approval. So, yun yung mga kailangan i-monitor sa isang project. So, learning and adaptation. RBM promotes a culture of learning where organizations adapt their strategies based on feedback and evaluation findings, enhancing future performance. So yung mapapansin po natin, yung feedback is important na sa mga projects. Dito rin kasi malalaman kung yung mga lessons learned, how to improve yung implementation, how to improve yung contract preparation, ang mga specs or what. So, ito, isa to sa mga kasama sa RBM. So, next is enhance accountability. By focusing on results, organizations can demonstrate their effectiveness and accountability to stakeholders and funders. So, improve decision making. RBM provides data-driven insights that inform strategic decision making and resource allocation. So, sa ngayon kasi, since yung infrastructure naman natin, internet is nandyan na. So, yung data mas mabilis natin makuha. So, kaya halos lahat ng mga activities ngayon, yung mga projects are almost all are dapat data-driven na siya. So, great impact. Ultimately, RBM aims to maximize the impact of projects and programs, ensuring that they contribute meaningfully to broader organizational goals and societal needs. So, dapat mas malaki yung impact niya. So, next is the theory of change. The theory of change is essentially a comprehensive description and illustration of how and why a desired change is expected to happen. It focuses on mapping out the connections between a program's activities and the long-term goals it aims to achieve. By identifying the desired outcomes and the necessary conditions for achieving them, the theory of change helps clarify the pathways through which change occurs. So, ano yung key components niya? So, una, long-term goal. It is the long-term goal is the ultimate objectives that the program aims to achieve. Outcomes It is the specific change or results that needs to occur for the long-term goals to be met. So activities, it is the interventions or actions that will be implemented to bring out the desired outcomes. Then, meron din itong assumptions. It is the beliefs about how and why the activities will lead to the desired outcomes, including the context in which the program operates. So, ito yung mga steps. First is developing a theory of change. Creating a theory of change involves several steps, including identifying the long-term goals and desired impacts, mapping out the necessary outcomes, and the relationship between them. Ito na yung planning. No? So, defining the activities that will lead to these outcomes and articulating the assumptions that underpin the theory, which can be tested and refined over time. So, next is the Agile Project Management. Agile Project Management offers a flexible and adaptive approach to enhance efficiency and responsiveness in public administration, addressing the unique challenges faced by government entities. So, ito yung overview niya. Sa Agile Project Management, originally developed for software development, it is increasingly being recognized for its potential in public administration. It emphasizes iterative progress, collaboration, and adaptability, which are essential in the dynamic environment of government operations. Traditional project management methods often struggle with the complexities and rapid changes in the public sector needs, making agile a compelling alternative. So ano yung mga benefits niya? So first is the adaptability to change. Agile methodologies allow government agencies to respond quickly to new regulations, citizen needs, and unforeseen challenges. For instance, during a natural disaster, agile teams can rapidly adjust their strategies to allocate resources effectively. Kasi during the implementation naman ng mga projects, may mga nangyayari na yan, natural disasters or meron mga policy changes na hindi na-assume during the planning stage. So, next is the iterative development. By breaking projects into smaller, manageable increments, public agencies can deliver value more frequently and gather feedback throughout the process. This approach helps ensure that projects remain aligned with evolving priorities. Next is enhanced collaboration. Agile promotes cross-functional teams that work together throughout the project lifecycle. This collaboration fosters transparency, knowledge sharing, and efficient decision making, which are crucial in public sector projects. So may mga projects tayo na iba't ibang departments ang pwede maapektuhan. So it's better na we collaborate with with the different departments para mas clear yung objective at meron ding input sa kanila. Stakeholder engagement. Regular communication with stakeholders is a cornerstone of Agile. By involving citizens and other stakeholders in the development process, agencies can better meet their expectations and adapt to their feedback. So, next is the public value management. So, PVM is a theoretical and practical approach within public administration that emphasizes the creation of value for society. It was introduced by Professor Mark Moore of the Harvard Kennedy School in the early 1990s. PVM shifts the focus from the efficiency and productivity of public services towards measuring their effectiveness in providing value to the public. So the concept of PVM is built on several key principles. First is recognizing the public sector's unique position to contribute to the overall well-being of society. Holding public managers responsible for adding value by aligning the organization's activities with public preferences and needs. Encouraging dialogue and engagement with stakeholders to define what is valuable to society, and the creation of public value being the central pillar of this management philosophy. So, ano yung mga, ano niya? So, first is the strategic triangle. So, ito yung core framework. To design a project using PVM, a public administrator must ensure that three distinct circles are perfectly aligned. If anyone is missing, the project will likely fail. So, ano yung mga yun? So, the public value strategy. So, what is the specific social good being created? So, ano yung value niya, kumbaga? So, this goes beyond profit or simple services. It includes things like equity, justice, safety, and public trust. So, legitimacy and support or the authorizing environment. So, who has the power to say yes or no to the project? So, this includes politicians, regulatory bodies, and most importantly, the citizens. And next is the operational capacity, the delivery. So, do you have it? It answers, do you have the tools to do it? So, this refers to the staff skills, technology, budget, and partnership with NGOs or private sector. So, ayun po. So, that's my report for today. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, no? Advanced project design models emphasize clarity of purpose and alignment with the strategic goals. In the Philippine Public Administration, this means ensuring that projects are directly linked to national frameworks such as the Philippine Development Plan, agency strategic plans, or local development investment programs. Let's say, for example, a provincial government designing digital records management systems must clearly connect, no, the project objectives to goals on good governance, efficiency, and anti-corruption. A well-designed model prevents projects from becoming isolated activities and instead positions them as part of the broader reform agenda. Another key insights from advanced project design is the importance of stakeholder analysis and participation. Philippine public sector projects often involve national agencies, local government units, civil society organizations, and community beneficiaries. No? Advanced models require project designers to map stakeholder interest, no, power, and influence early in the process. For instance, no, in the public health project aimed at improving barangay health services involving barangay officials, midwives, and community leaders during the design stage increases project ownership and sustainability, no, reducing resistance during implementation. Risk management and feasibility study are also central features of advanced project design models. No? Public administration projects in the Philippines frequently face risks such as budget delays, procurement issues, political transitions, and capacity gaps. So, using an advanced design model allows administrators to anticipate this risk and build mitigation strategies into the project plan. A disaster preparedness project, let's say for example, may include contingency funding, inter-LGU coordination mechanism, and in alternative implementation timelines to address typhoon-related disruption. Advanced model further highlight the importance of monitoring, evaluation, and learning. Rather than treating evaluation as an afterthought, project design integrates performance indicators, data collection methods, and feedback mechanism from the start. In a national government program on digital governance, this could involve tracking service delivery time, user satisfaction, and system reliability. So, for doctoral level public administrator, for you as a student or as a doctor, this approach reinforces evidence-based decision making and continuous improvement in public service delivery. So again, advanced project design models promote sustainability and institutionalization. Successful public sector projects in our country are those that continue beyond leadership changes and political cycles. So designing projects with sustainability in mind through policy integration, capacity building, and budget alignment ensures long-term impact. Let's say, for example, LGU-led education innovation project becomes sustainable when it is embedded in local ordinances, annual investment plans, and staff development programs. So for Doctor of Public Administration students, this underscore the role of project design as strategic governance functions, not merely a technical uh, exercises, no? Okay, I just want to share, no? Because as what I have mentioned earlier, no, LGU-led Education Innovation Project becomes sustainable when it is embedded in the local governance. And maybe you are also aware with the news. I don't know if it is no, but I've heard no that Mayor Bico no extended the city's long-standing scholarship initiative to include support for graduate studies, particularly for public school teachers and city employees who aspire to complete master's and doctoral degrees. No, effective removing financial barriers to advanced education under a new ordinance supported by the local legislator and the mayor. The city government commits to covering academic expenses, including tuition and related costs for qualified personnel enrolled in accredited graduate programs. And this initiative reflects a broader vision of strengthening public service capacity by investing in the continuous professional development of educators and public servants, acknowledging that higher qualifications can enhance both teaching quality and governance outcomes. In practice, of course, the Pasig City government's partnership with institutions like University of the Philippines Open University formalizes scholarship slots for advanced degree programs that include Masters of Public Management, Master of Social Work, Master of Information System, and other postgraduate fields relevant to public administration and community development. The initiative, often referred to as the part of the Pasig Employee List Scholarship Program, no, aims to empower frontline workers and professionals to pursue advanced education while they continue to their public service roles. Because again, through integrating flexible and accessible learning modalities such as open and distance education, Pasig City ensures that its employees can balance work obligations with academic commitments, ultimately enhancing service delivery, evidence-based policy making, and innovative practices in local governance. This move by Mayor Vico represents a progressive approach to human capital development in the public sector. No? In the Philippine context, where access to graduate education is often limited by high cost and logistical constraint, so Pasig City's model provides a practical example of local government innovation. Scholarship for master's and doctoral degrees not only improve individual competencies but also contribute to institutional capacity building, addressing gaps in areas such as public policy, health administration, education management, and governance reform. So again, for students studying local governance and public sector leadership, Pasig City's initiatives underscore the importance of lifelong learning as strategic investment, demonstrating how targeted local policies can produce a more skilled and adaptive public workforce ready to tackle complex socioeconomic uh, challenges, no? Okay. Of course, I just want also to acknowledge that, of course, UCC offers a graduate school that is open to both resident of Caloocan and applicants from outside the city and neighboring areas. And each graduate programs are designed for students and working professionals who seek advanced degrees in public administration, education, business, and related fields. So admission announcement from the graduate school, sometimes explicitly note that applications are accepted from non-Caloocan residents during published application periods, meaning people from other cities or regions can enroll as long as they meet the academic and admission requirements. Ano po? So these graduate offerings actually are structured to support professional development and research capability for educators, administrators, and practitioners across sectors. So students from Caloocan and other parts of Metro Manila or Luzon can pursue these graduate degrees on campus, benefiting from UCC's program that integrate advanced theory, research, and practical application. I believe Mayor of Caloocan also provide and budget for this program, especially for faculty, for facilities, and one of his trust also, and support the education. Okay, so